Hey, if you're getting ready for the ASVAB, you know that general science section can be a real grab bag. So today, we're going to tackle one of its trickiest topics, ecosystems and ecology. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to have all the tools you need to absolutely ace these questions. So let's just dive right in with a question that could be ripped straight from the test. What is a primary consumer? Now, if you're kind of scratching your head right now, don't worry about it. Stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll be able to answer questions like this in your sleep. All right, here's our game plan. We'll start with why this section can be a challenge, then we'll decode what an ecosystem really is. After that, we'll meet all the players in the food chain, use what we learned on a real practice question, and then wrap it all up with a super quick review. Let's do this. Look, the general science subtest can feel a little intimidating, right? I mean, it covers everything from biology to physics. But here's the secret. You don't need to know everything at once. The key is to master one topic at a time. And today, we are conquering ecology. So, what's the big idea behind ecology? Honestly, it all boils down to one single concept: the flow of energy. That's it. If you can follow where the energy is going, you can understand any ecosystem. This is the master key to the whole topic. Okay, let's get the official definition down. Every single ecosystem has two main parts. You've got the biotic parts. That's just a fancy word for all the living stuff, plants, animals, bacteria. Then you have the abiotic parts, all the non-living things like sunlight, water, and soil. It's how all of those things interact that creates the system for energy to move through. And how do we actually track all that energy we've been talking about? Well, we use a simple little map called a food chain. It's a really powerful model that shows you exactly who eats whom, and most importantly, how that energy gets passed from one organism to the next. So let's meet the cast of characters in this big energy story. Every living thing has a very specific role to play. Once you understand these roles, I promise you'll be able to crack any ASVAB question they throw at you on this subject. First up, we've got the producers. You might also see them called autotrophs. These guys are the absolute foundation of everything. Think plants. They don't have to eat anything else because they literally make their own food using sunlight. They're the ones creating all the starting energy for the entire ecosystem. Next up in the chain are the primary consumers. These are your herbivores, the plant eaters. It's that simple. They get all their energy by eating the producers. So a cow munching on grass or a grasshopper nibbling on a leaf? Yep, both are perfect examples of primary consumers. Following them, you guessed it, we have the secondary consumers. These organisms get their energy by eating the primary consumers, the plant eaters. So a wolf that eats a cow or a fish that snacks on plankton, they're all secondary consumers. And they can be carnivores who only eat meat, or even omnivores who eat a bit of everything. And way up at the top, we often find the tertiary consumers. Think of these as the apex predators, the top of the food chain. A shark eating other fish, or a hawk swooping down to grab a snake. They're getting their energy by eating both the primary and the secondary consumers below them. But wait, what happens when all of these plants and animals die? That's where the decomposers come in, and their job is absolutely crucial. These guys, think bacteria and fungi, are the ecosystem's cleanup crew. They break down all the dead stuff and return those vital nutrients back to the soil so the producers can use them all over again. They're the ones who complete the whole cycle. Okay, let's walk through a super simple example to see it all in action. Step 1, the sun gives energy to the grass. That's our producer. Step 2, a cow comes along and eats the grass, our primary consumer. Step 3, a wolf eats the cow, our secondary consumer. And finally, when that wolf's life is over, fungi and bacteria break it down, recycling the nutrients. See, it's a perfect loop of energy. Okay, we've gone through all the concepts. Now for the most important part, let's actually apply this knowledge just like you're going to have to do on test day. Here is a totally real practice question. Animals that feed exclusively on plants are called... Just take a second. Think back to our cast of characters. Who are the plant eaters? What do you think? If you said A, primary consumers, you nailed it. Fantastic job. Now let's quickly break down exactly why that's the right answer. So here's the logic. It's all in the definition, right? Primary consumers get their energy directly from primary producers. And producers are plants. That classic example of a cow surviving only on grass is the perfect way to lock this concept into your brain. So if there's one really crucial point to remember, it's this simple difference right here. Producers make their own food and create the energy. Consumers transfer that energy around by eating other organisms. If you can just keep that one idea straight, you are going to be in great shape. All right, we're in the home stretch now. Let's lock in everything we've learned with a quick final review of the most critical points you need to remember for the ASVB.
Let's just run through it one last time. Energy flows from the producers to the consumers. Producers make their own food. Primary consumers eat those producers. Secondary and tertiary consumers eat the other consumers. And the whole thing gets reset by the decomposers, who recycle everybody. That is the entire flow you need to know.
And that's really the secret sauce. If you can understand that simple flow of energy from producer to consumer to decomposer, you will have the key to unlock any ecology question the ASVAB tries to throw at you. You did a fantastic job today. You should feel really good, because you now have a solid grip on ecosystems and food chains. Keep this momentum going and start thinking, what area of science do you want to master next? Thanks for joining me.